Salam and good day everyone. So for today we will be going through chapter 8, hardware for development. Okay. So let's take a look the next slide. So in this chapter you will learn about popular platforms. Okay. There are two types of popular platform. Okay. So second one is various type of connections. Okay, there are 4 various type of connections that you will learn, and then memory and various storage devices. Okay, and next is the various input and output devices for you to develop a multimedia project. Okay. Alright, as we all know, a computer system is made up of two parts, hardware and also software, okay? And the two most significant platforms for producing and delivering multimedia projects are Windows OS and Mac OS, okay? So, why these two is the most significant platform? Because they provide affordability, okay? Affordability, meaning that you can easily get them at a cheaper price in comparison to other operating systems which hard to get by, okay? These two OS can easily be used on any particular hardware that you have, okay, and also it is available worldwide, okay, depending on where you are, okay, because Windows and Mac OS will always be available for you, okay, these two types. So other than Windows and Mac OS, there are other platforms that you can use, okay, which are iRigs, okay, and Solaris, okay. But the two most significant that people be use nowadays are Mac and Windows OS. Okay, so let's take a look about Windows and Macintosh. Okay, Microsoft is primarily a software company. Okay, Windows computer are made up of different vendor neutral hardware that are tied together by requirements of the Windows operating system. Okay, and this hardware, okay, are assembled and branded by various manufacturers. For example, HP, and then Dell, Sony, Acer, okay, to a computer that runs on Windows. So basically, Windows is develop their operating system for these manufacturers, okay. So for the Mac OS, okay, they develop their own operating system, which known as Macintosh OS, okay, Macintosh operating system, to run their hardware, okay. So Apple computer produce both the computer and operating system, but Windows only produce the operating systems, okay. So that is the difference between these two platforms. Okay, so the next is networking. Okay, so what is the purpose of networking? networking, okay, meaning that to connect two or more computer systems by linking them together, okay, using a network. So a network is when we link something together. So in this case, what we are linking, okay, we are linking computers, okay. So if the computer is standalone, it is not a network. So if you want this computer to communicate with another computer, then we need some sort of network to connect them together, okay, link them. Then it will become a network, okay. So once the computer is inside particular network, they are able to allow direct communication and sharing of resources across those platforms, okay. For example, file servers, network routers, and printers, okay. So there are two main type of networks that people usually use, okay, which are, first one is LAN, okay, local area network, and the second one is WAN, which is wide area network, okay. So local area network, okay, local area network, meaning that to connect computers that are close to each other, okay, which is in a short distance. For example, workstation that are on the same floor in a building, okay. So as you can see here, okay, most home and business networks are using LAN, okay, using the local area network. So they are relatively less expensive compared to the WAN, okay. So the two most common technologies used to perform the connections of LAN, okay, is Ethernet, okay. Ethernet is when we use a network cables to link those computers together, okay. Here are the example of Ethernet, okay. That one is the RJ45 cable, okay. So when we have network, of course we need client server software to enable computers to communicate with each other, okay. So another example would be the Wi-Fi, okay. So Wi-Fi uses radio waves, okay, to allow two devices to communicate with one another. And the technology is most commonly used to connect internet routers to devices like computers, okay, tablets, and phone, okay. It enables users to move around when we use Wi-Fi, okay, within the area and remain connected to the network. So here are the wide area network WAN, okay. For the wide area network, okay, LAN plus LAN plus LAN equal to wide area network, equal to WAN, okay. When connect computers over a diverse geographical area, okay, in a long distance, okay. So it typically set up and managed by a large corporation, okay, meaning to say that in maybe in headquarters, okay, branch offices, okay. So it enables users to communicate with each other at any location around the world, okay. But WANs are expensive to install and maintain, okay. So what I can give the example. Okay, for example, an internet is one example of the WAN. Okay, in order for you to have WAN, you need an internet service providers. Okay, or known as ISPs. Okay, to connect computers to the internet via a wide area network. Okay, here are the examples of ISP in Malaysia. Okay, Maxis, Time, okay, Unify, Streaming, okay. These providers provide individuals and organizations to access to the internet worldwide. So here are the 4 types of connections that you will learn, okay, for this chapter. Okay, when you have a separate equipment, okay, that are required to develop your multimedia project, you need a connection device to connect them to your computer. Okay. In order for you to connect that hardware together, you need some sort of connections. Okay. These include SCSI, okay, integrated drive electronics, IDE, USB, and Firewire. Okay, let's go into SCSI. Okay, SCSI stands for Small Computer System Interface. Okay, it is used to connect internal and external peripheral equipment and devices. Okay, for example, hard disk. Okay, in order for you to connect to hard disk for your motherboard, you might need this SCSI. Okay, this one. But currently, people do not use it anymore. Okay, because after SCSI comes IDE. IDE, also known as Advanced Technology Attachment. Okay, ATA. IDE used for mounting hardware inside the computers, like your hard drives. Okay, CD-ROM drives and also the DVD-ROM drives. Okay, here as you can see is the types of a USB. Okay, there are many types of USB currently. Okay, in your laptop. Here are the type A, type B, micro B, and type C. Okay. So USB, known as Universal Serial Bus, okay, a standard for connecting devices to the computer using the plug and play system. And it uses a single cable to connect 1 to 7 USB peripherals to a single PC. So next is the Firewire. Okay, Firewire introduced by Apple in the 1980s. Okay, and it is also known as IEEE 1394. Okay, IEEE 1394. Okay, so meaning that if you have a video, you have a camera that you want files to be transferred faster, you can use Firewire. But in some computer nowadays, I think USB is just enough. Okay, so because this is not a cable you usually find these days. Okay, so here are memory and storage devices. Okay, Okay. Okay. So, when we are trying to develop multimedia project, it is important for us to allocate, okay, enough memory for our project to run on. Okay, so if you want a computer to be really fast, okay, there are certain things that you can do. Okay, so we need to look at these two types of memory, which are RAM, okay, and ROM. Okay, so I will go into details of how RAM and ROM works inside your computer. Okay, so as you can see here, this explanation about RAM and ROM. Okay, random access memory and read-only memory. Okay, inside your computer, you have a motherboard and different components that made up your computer. Okay, the main one that you need inside your computer. So, first of all, of course, you will need a CPU. Okay, so a CPU will allow your computer to process whatever data that you have. Okay, it will be handled by CPU. Okay, and inside your computer as well, you will need a RAM. Okay, also you also need a ROM. Okay, here is ROM. Okay, there is a big difference between RAM, okay, and ROM. Okay, so RAM enables the simultaneously running of many applications, and it is a volatile. Okay, volatile means that once the computer is turned off, all of the stored information will be lost. That's why the data stored in RAM are temporary. Okay, compared to the ROM is non-volatile. Okay, non-volatile means that whatever information that you store inside there will not be lost even if computer shut down. Thus, it will not lose its memory. So, ROM is used in computers to hold BIOS program. Okay, that one, BIOS program. Why we use what function of the BIOS program? Okay, BIOS program is responsible for booting up the computer. Okay, so you have CPU here, you have RAM, you have ROM, and you also might need to have a hard disk. Okay, nowadays you can even have an SSD. Okay, instead. Okay, instead of hard disk. Okay, so HDD or SSD. Okay, so how computer works. Okay, when you turn on your computer needs to boot up. Okay, when it boots up, a ROM will do its work, because inside ROM, as I said before, we will have BIOS program. Okay, this one. So this BIOS program allows the computer to start up. This is why a ROM is not volatile, because you cannot lose the BIOS program. Otherwise, the computer cannot be boot up. When you turn on the PC, the BIOS will work. Then it will call upon the operating system. Okay, so where is the operating system located? Okay, here. Operating system located inside your hard disk. Okay, so whatever software, whatever data that you want to store permanently, it will store inside the hard disk, okay, or SSD. Okay, so this OS allow you to use other software inside your computer. Okay, in order for this to work, it needs to be able to run on your RAM as well. Okay, because RAM allows your computer to process things. Okay, whenever you want the OS to work, to process, or to be executed, it needs to be stored inside the RAM. Okay, so right now, inside my RAM, okay, is my OS. Okay, okay, inside my RAM is my OS. Okay, so the OS will work. Okay, so now you can run in other application. Okay, when OS is run, okay, you can see all the certified software is on your computer. Okay, so for example, okay, I give you an example. Let's say you want to open up your Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, so your Microsoft PowerPoint is installed inside your hard disk or SSD. Okay, let's say you double click on on this program. Okay, you want to run your Microsoft PowerPoint. It will be brought to your RAM. Okay, to your RAM. So you will have your Microsoft PowerPoint inside your RAM. Okay, so the higher the RAM, the more application that can be run simultaneously at one time. So meaning that you can run many applications inside your RAM. Okay, let's say you want to open up your Photoshop. Okay, if so here Photoshop. Okay, if you see here, your RAM is kind of full. Okay, if you still put it inside here, the computer might slow down or crash. Okay, for example, you want to open up one more application. Okay, let's say Adobe Premiere. Okay, so right now your RAM is kind of full. Okay, but if you know, the first moment when you open up your computer, it will be the fastest. Why? because your RAM is free or empty. You didn't open any application, okay, at the first moment you open up your computer. So when you open up all these different applications, okay, Microsoft PowerPoint, Photoshop, and the Premiere, okay, your RAM will now be full. That's why your computer becomes slow. So if you want to increase the speed of your computer, you might need increase your RAM. Okay, maybe you need to increase to 8 gig, because current laptop, I think it will have built-in 4 gig RAM. Okay, so basically RAM is volatile. Okay, wherever you executing right now, if you are not saving it, it will be lost once your computer is turned off all of this. Okay, so that is the difference between RAM and a ROM. Okay, we continue with hard disk. As I told you before, hard disk is permanent storage. Okay, so whatever you store is permanent inside there unless you delete. Okay, and hard disk is also called disk drive. Okay, inside your computer you will find that you will have a hard disk to store all of your file. Okay, and you will also have your external hard disk if your hard disk is not enough. Okay, basically hard disk have a high data storage capacity. Okay, and a data transfer speed. Okay, you can store a lot of data inside there. Okay, today's computer typically comes with hard disks that contain gigabytes of storage. Okay, so inside your computer you will have at least, I think, 500 gig of data. Okay, so the more expensive of the computer, maybe your hard disk can be up to 1 terabyte. Okay, so the next of memory is the flash memory, or we call it as thumb drive. Okay, sometimes maybe we call a kitchen drive. Okay, also connects to the USB port on your computer. This is the most convenient memory that we have, meaning that this type memory that we can brought anywhere. Okay, and it is small storage device. Okay, so in order to connect that memory to your computer, you will have the USB connection. Okay, so next one is the CD-ROM. Okay, stand for compact disk read-only memory. For example, you want to give your project to your supervisor, you can use this one. Okay, but you need to burn it the files. Okay, if you remember that from our previous chapter, I already explained this type of compact disk. Okay, so there are two types. Okay, which are CDRW and CDR. CDRW stand for CD read and write. Basically, if you want to rewrite over and over again, you can use this type of CD read and write. Okay, can be written about 1,000 times. Okay, compared to CDR, can be written on only once. Therefore, it is very inexpensive, useful for short-run distribution of finished multimedia projects and data backup. Okay, so there are two types. Okay, CDRW and CDR. Okay, CD recordable. Okay. Okay, the next type of memory we have DVD. Okay, digital versatile disc is an optical disc technology for distributing multimedia and feature-length movies. Okay, because this DVD provide sharp and detailed video resolution. Okay, and DVD is able to store a lot of data. So there are three types of DVDs. Okay, first one DVD read and write, DVD video, and last one DVD ROM. Okay, so the next one is the Blu-ray disc. Okay, Blu-ray disc is used by the motion picture industry. Okay, you can store more data inside the Blu-ray disc because the video that contained inside there is high definition video. Okay, so it is clearer. Okay, okay, we continue with the input devices. Okay, input device is something you connect to a computer that sends information into the computer. So any data that we place in the computer is known as the input. Okay, this input comes from the user. So there are four types of input, which are text, graphic, audio, and video. Okay, so in order for us to place this data to computer, we need the input devices. Okay, because it will allow you to interact with and control the computer. Okay, so here you can see many examples of input devices. Okay, for audio, for video, okay, pointing, one is for pointing, and also text. Okay, so here first one, an optical character recognition, or known as OCR. Okay, let's say if you have a book that you want to scan, okay, if you use the character recognition software, you can actually scan through the text on that image in the book. Okay, so this one is used to convert printed matter into ASCII text files. So the next one is the voice recognition system. Okay, can recognize spoken words and commands. Okay, and then microphones and cable. Okay, used to capture audio. Okay, and last one, digital cameras use charge couple devices or CCDs. Okay, so the CCDs will help us to capture the images by transforming the light that we see into pixels. Okay, so lastly we have other output devices. Output is what we display to the user. Okay, anything that you want to display to the user in terms of pictures, videos, you can use the output device. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, you can use speakers, okay, for better quality audio. Okay, and next one, you can use monitor. Okay, you can use more than one monitor. Okay, by adding additional display adapters to the computer, and then you will have the projectors. Okay, and last one, you will have the color printers. Okay, to do your multimedia projects or to print any documents for your multimedia production department. Okay, so that is the end of this chapter. Okay.